Hey, it's Sue in the restricted section. Today I want to do my October wrap-up, so let's go. Oh, I didn't put the books in a very good place, did I? Okay, so the first book that I read this month was Slammerkin by Emma Donoghue. My buddy read this with Kathleen Ann from here on YouTube, who I will link down below. You should go check her channel out if you have not yet, because she's pretty awesome. And we also discussed this book with Conrad from 7 Days at Sea. He had already read it, so he just talked about it with us, and I'll also put his channel down below. If you haven't checked him out, you should do that too. He gives really great book recommendations. For example, this one. This book is about a young girl living in London in, I think, 1748. Her name is Mary. And she makes a really bad decision, and that leads her into a life of prostitution. But she does get out of that life by sort of lying and manipulating her way into the home of this family, and she's working there as like a maid. I feel like it's not really a spoiler to say that she's kind of her own downfall. I think that you kind of get that from the beginning, that things aren't gonna go well for her because she's very fixated on pretty things. She loves pretty dresses, pretty ribbons, and even though she got out of this life of prostitution, which is an accomplishment that most women don't do, it still wasn't good enough for her. What ends up happening, though, was a surprise to me. Like I said, I knew that shit was probably gonna go badly for her, but it was much more crazy than I thought it was gonna be. But I really enjoyed this book. Mary was a great character. I really liked her. She did awful things. Like I said, she lied and manipulated and stuff like that, but I was still kind of rooting for her the whole time. And yeah, she was just a really complex, well-developed character. And the other characters in the book were great too, I thought. There's a character named Dolly, I think her name was, or Doll, who was a fellow prostitute who I really loved. Doll. I thought she was a great character too. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was the first Emma Donoghue novel I've ever read. I'd only read a short story by her before. And I will say that there was a part, like the first third of the book at least, is all from Mary's perspective. And then all of a sudden you start getting from other characters' perspective as well, which was a little startling. And there were parts of it also that felt a little contrived. There was just stuff that was a little too perfect, I'd say, and too obvious. But other than that, yeah, I thought it was a really enjoyable book. I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. And the next book I completed was an audiobook, and it was You're Never Weird on the Internet, Almost, by Felicia Day. And it is read by Felicia Day. And she is an actress. If you were not aware, she was in, I believe she was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm not sure what she played. I never watched that show. But she was in that. She was in Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog as Penelope. She was in Supernatural as Charlie. She had her own show called The Guild. I haven't seen that either. What else? She has a YouTube channel called Geek and Sundry, which it has other people on it, like she's not in all of the videos on that channel, but she is in some of them. Yeah, and she's just kind of famously geeky. I have a not great relationship with audiobooks, and I usually do not enjoy them. However, this one was absolutely delightful. I really loved it. She's just great. Felicia Day is great. She's a treasure. And I gave it 5 stars. I've never given an audiobook 5 stars. So yeah, I highly recommend it. It is, and I wasn't even like a huge Felicia Day fan. I mean, I did definitely like know who she was and really liked her, but I wasn't like a big hardcore fan of hers before I read the book. But yeah, I thought that it was actually really inspiring for me because I related to her in a lot of ways with her sort of, she talks about how she kind of gets all these great ideas and just can't really seem to follow through with them a lot of the time. And I'm like, that sounds familiar. But yeah, she had a very unusual childhood. She was homeschooled, and I always find it really impressive, I guess, or inspiring whenever someone just goes for their dream. Like she went to college and got a math degree and then moved to Hollywood to become an actor. Like, who does that? I guess Felicia Day. I guess a lot of people do, people who become actors, but I'm like, I would never even think to pursue an acting career because it wouldn't be realistic, you know what I mean? Also, I would be terrible at it. But yeah, I loved it. Highly recommend. Okay, and the next two books I read I've already done reviews of, so I'm not really going to talk about them here, but one of them was Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I'll link the review I did. I also did a makeup transformation, which turned out alright, I think, but I really enjoyed this as well. I give it 4 stars. I gave it 3.5 stars on Goodreads, but I'd bump it up to 4 after like ruminating on it some. It's just really it's a novel you could talk about for ages because there's so many different themes you could pick up on it, like, and 2 different people could read it and get completely different things out of it. So yeah, I really liked that. And then the last one I read was Count Us In, Growing Up with Down Syndrome by Jason Kingsley and Mitchell Levitz. I will link the book discussion I did of this down below as well. I really loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It was just a really great look into the minds and ideas of 2 men who have Down syndrome. And that was all I completed for October. I did want to mention one other thing, it's not a book, but I pre-ordered this thing on the internet and then I forgot that I had done that. And so it arrived in the mail last week and it is amazing and I love it. And it's a calendar called Year of Fear. And it's like men of horror sexy photo shoots of horror icons. I hope the light isn't ruining it, but you got Freddy there, and let me see, one of my favorites, there's also like a centerfold with Freddy and Jason, and then one of my favorites was well, Michael Myers is one of my favorites just in general, so he's pretty great. But I loved this one, Ghostface from Scream. It's just, oh man, it's ridiculous and amazing and it makes me happy. And I'll put the link to the shop down below where I got it. The creators sent me with it. I got a signed photo of them with a nice little note on the back. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was just fantastic. So that's it. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you read in October. Did you have a good reading month? I didn't read a lot of books, but I really liked all the books that I read, so I'd call it a good reading month. Thanks everyone for watching. There'll be links down below where you can find me and Megan other places on the internet. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!